Good day, good day, good day. I'm here on Urban Sentinel. Again, special thanks to Reggie Kearney for letting me host the show while he's recovering. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a very special guest today. I call him my literary brother. When I say that, I mean in this industry you meet a whole lot of folks. It's not a whole lot of folks you consider brothers. This is one of my literary brothers in the community and in the writing world. He writes. He'll tell you more, but he writes about. I write five different genres. I think this brother write between seven, nine, maybe 10 different genres. He writes everything from erotica to murder mystery to sci-fi to you name it. He writes it. This brother is a great writer, a great friend, and even a more great author. Well, without further ado, introduce you to Keith Kareem Williams.
Hey, how you doing, Yonder, my brother? Thank you for
Man,
having me.
I am good, man. This is one of look. When I have folks like you on the show, I get excited, man. Because first of all, I'm a reader. But
Hmm.
then reading fire like yours, man, I'd be like, okay, because as you write, as you write, it's not that you compare yourself to folks, but you be like, yeah, nah, you fire, man. Nah, but
Thank
you
you.
fire, man. You a fire, man. I mean, I don't like I said, along the way, we don't try to compare ourselves, but you read my stuff, say, okay, let me see what the hype about. And the hype is true. You're a great writer, man. I mean, really, and it's been my pleasure to talk to you, to work with you, to just vibe with you, man. I mean, really, really, it's a pleasure to be with folks of like mind and like kindness. And then I have one
Thank you.
question to ask you before I even get into the interview.
All right.
What is it about folks from New York that they can write? Man, come on. We got Quan. You got Treasure Blue. You got you. It's something about that New York connection. It's probably a whole slew of other ones, but those y'all my dogs.
Yeah,
What is it about y'all New
yeah.
Yorkers that y'all got that y'all put pen to paper?
It's this city, man. And if a lot of us, what we've seen and what we've lived, it's a fast pace, it's an exciting place. So you could just, I don't know what it is because there are a lot of dope writers that come out of here,
Yes.
right? But I think it's our life. It's our lifestyle. And sometimes we put characters into books and people fall in love with these characters and they don't realize that, hey, I know that guy.
Right, right,
Like
right,
this
right. And
dude,
I
I'm
know that reading you,
yeah,
reading Quan, reading Treasure Blue, and reading you, I be like, man, people don't realize these ain't characters. These are people for real.
Jesus, people for real, right? And a lot of times you'll take different elements from different people
Hmm.
and make some of the dopest characters that people ever seen on the page. And it's also, it's how we grew up, whether it be just talking smack with our friends and you know what I mean? So we quick with it and yeah, we it's like rappers. You know
It's
what I
something
mean? It's
special
almost
about you
like
being
rap
a
music.
guest, man. It's something special. Treasure told a story about one of the characters in this book named Birdie. He was like, "This is where I met. This is a real person, for real, for real." And he broke down.
Right,
And to read her in the book, you like being from the hood myself, I understood her, but I had never met her. Man, I was like, That's true. That's true." But I knew
yeah,
folks like that, but I didn't know that one. You know. But I
right,
was like, man, and
right.
just reading your books, man, I'm like, these ain't this ain't no
Mm-mm.
okay. I'm gonna go down and write a book. No, you wrote about the experiences and the people you knew and some things that was going on.
Hmm.
And
I
that's a
pull it from a
different
real
and then
place.
that's a
You know
different
what I
than a
mean?
whole lot of writers. Some people write from fantasy and imaginary stuff and things of that nature. You New
Right.
Yorkers right from the real world. And it's much love and appreciated from a reader, man. Cause I read this stuff, be like, man,
Thank you.
man, man, sweating, hyperventilating, got anxiety attacks, and just everything, man. And
Right,
that's a real book. People don't understand what a real book is. I mean, people read for what they read for. I read for
right,
I read for anxiety. I read so I want to have sleep.
right,
I read for running from this
right,
person. I read for mad at this person, sad about this person, anxiety for this
right,
person, loving this person, want to hurt this person,
right,
my personal self. And they're not
right.
real to me, but they real in my subconscious. Tell us about how you
That's
write from your or your subconscious from your own life story. Tell us
Right.
who Keith Kareem Williams is.
Right. One of the things that a lot of readers don't know is like, for example, my latest book, Wildflowers and Bullets, right? Shout out to Julia Press Simmons because she approached me to write a short erotic story for her and for her anthology, Sticky Situations. So I wrote it, but what people don't realize is that even though I may write a short story and I give you a small peek at these people, when I think of them and I imagine them and I put them on paper, even though I may not tell you that, the reason why my characters feel so real is because in my head, I know who their parents were, I know who they grew up, I know their whole lives up until the point where I started writing about them. So that gives me the opportunity to show you and not necessarily tell you everything in subtle ways that you find out who these people are. Because when I write, I want you to go to sleep when you put the book down. One, you can't wait till the next time you get to pick it back up if you didn't finish it in one sitting. I want you to go to sleep with these people on your mind so you almost dream about them, right? I want when you put that book down, these are memorable characters because readers, especially avid readers, they read so many books that sometimes stories they don't remember everything. I go out of my way to make sure that you remember my characters, that it stands out in your head, right? So, um, yeah, that to answer your question.
Yeah, it does. And one of the things that you
Okay.
do that a whole lot of urban knowledge books, urban books do, and just a whole lot of modern stream books do. Your character names are totally different. So you got to know I read that in Keith's book. I mean, your character names are just something. They not regular names, and I
Right,
like that
right.
because one of the biggest things I think we got into back when we all started writing back 90s, 2000s, that everybody had the same names, Little Black, Boo Boo, everybody's name.
Hmm.
So you didn't know if Little Black was in this book or that book or that
Oh,
book.
right,
Because everybody
right,
had a little black or boo boo, man, and stuff like that. No, your character's names, you be like, oh man, I can't stand that joke of Roger Stevenson.
right,
You be
right,
like, you
right.
got his whole name,
Hmm.
uh Fitzgerald
Hmm.
Johnson, and you be like, okay, got you. Cause Fitzgerald
Right.
Johnson, I don't like him, I don't like, oh I do, or even the woman's name. I love Samantha with a middle name and a last name. You
Hmm.
be like,
Hmm.
oh, that's why they call her Candy. Her middle name is Cadence.
Right, right.
It ain't just
Everything
Candy. Yes,
is not random. It's not random. I make sure it's
right.
unique. A lot of times the names, if their parents name them something specific, I'm gonna give you a piece of the backstory. All of these things is things that make the reader feel that these people are real people. That's what I want, is to stand out, right? I never wanted to do it just to be lost. They kind of like the Flotsam and Jetsam and the Backslosher, the hundreds and thousands of books that come out, right? If you're trying to sometimes, and like it's like what you said earlier in the show, right? You don't necessarily compare yourself, right? But if I'm using musical terms, I look at this whole thing as a mixtape, right? So everybody,
Right.
or a song, everybody have their verse on a song, right?
But you got to kill it.
But right, and I gotta kill it, right? So it is a level of competition where it's like, listen, if I'm gonna do a thing, I'm gonna try to be the best at that thing. You know what
Basically
I mean?
you competing with yourself. One of the things I say, I'm looking at one of your characters' name. I watch. Let me put this up here for the audience.
Hmm.
Kiss me before you say goodnight,
Oh,
and you
that's a
use
hot one.
look, you use one of my favorite names, one of my character names, and all six of the taboo books' name is Courtney. Courtney's not
Hmm.
a common name, so it meant something to have that. And I was when I said, I realized I said, he got a Courtney, man, get out of here. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's not Mike Johnson, it's not Mike Smith, it's Courtney.
Right.
So you
Right.
either love Courtney or you hate him,
Right.
and that gets the reader into a different mind frame. Okay, and they go to sleep thinking Courtney, man, I can hurt him
Hmm.
myself, or I love him myself, And I'm reading here.
That's
You
it.
said Courtney was usually were brave or stupid to mess with Courtney.
Right. Right. Right.
I love
I
that.
heard that.
I love that because I know who Courtney is,
Right.
and
Right.
I'm like I said, I'm either brave or stupid to mess with him. So
Right.
what you going to do? Are you so I either love him or I hate him.
Right.
You got to
Right.
get a love hate relationship in everything we do, and people don't realize that. That fuels the book. That fuels the whole engine of it. That fuels the fire. That makes you wake up middle of the night, 2 o'clock, say, "I got to finish that book."
Right.
Yep.
Because here's the thing, right? This is where a lot of like even film fail, right? The hero is the hero, or the main protagonist is the main protagonist. But
Yes,
the main protagonist is only as dynamic as and as interesting as their opposition. So
yes,
if there's no real opposition, if they don't have any real if they don't have any real obstacles, now you've written a boring story. A lot of times it's what the hero has to overcome in all the
yes.
stories that we tell, if you really think about it, right?
Hmm.
Batman, if the Joker wasn't the type of villain that he is, Batman wouldn't be as interesting.
Would
You know what I
not.
mean? Right. So, and I love when readers think I get mad when they tell me stuff like that. No, that's what I wanted to do. When they tell me, oh, I was pulling my hair out, I was yelling at the characters in the book. I can't
Yeah.
believe this person and that person. That's what I want to hear.
Yes,
And
Yeah.
yes, yes.
growing,
And see, that stirs up your mind, your emotion. And I'm gonna tell you, you're one of the writers that make me step my game up. After reading some of yours, I
oh
was
man,
like,
thank you.
okay, let me get my mind together. Okay, because he went he on it. And mind you, look, if people would let me get a story. Me and Keith only known each other maybe 5 years on paper. two
Yeah,
years we've actually met. We met
in
each other the
person.
last 2 years in
Man.
person. But from the day I met him on social media, I was following him. I'm a book junkie, so he was putting stuff out, and I was like, okay, cool. And then he did something. He did the ultimate betrayal to me. I live in Florida. He was down here at the Daytona event. I was like, hold up, hold up. He come from Florida, and I ain't come from 2 hours away. I was like, you know what? Next year I'm going to the event. This joke ain't come from New York and gonna show me up in my new hometown.
In your old
So
backyard and
that's why I
everything.
In your
came.
own
I'm gonna let you
backyard,
know.
right?
In their
Oh,
old
oh, you
backyard.
showed me. I said, oh no, he not. At first off, he got fire books. Now he got the fire down in Florida, and I'm trying to generate some energy and some synergy down here. No, he's not gonna take over my town. I can't let the town take it
You ain't
over.
gonna take over your town. I know that town pride is and everything. But I had a quick question for y'all based on a conversation I had earlier today with a reader, and then I think I've asked you this question before, Yonder, but I want to hear from Keith and everything. So I'm gonna ask both of these questions, and then I might jet out and everything like that. But the first question I got is: do you sometimes think that when it comes to biographs and biographies, that's why some people leave the book and don't necessarily finish it? Because I went voting earlier today because we got voting here in Durham, and the young lady
Right.
was reading a book, and because anytime I see a book, I ask them what the book is, and it was a biography on Viola Davis. We all know who Viola Davis is and everything,
Right.
but she's never finished the book because she said that every time that she gets to the book, she puts the book down, and some other book will draw her, probably a fiction book and everything like that. So she hasn't finally finished the book. So I was just wondering, is that one of the issues with biographies? Is you getting that real life and all along those lines that you are quick to go to the fiction versus the biography? And maybe it's the way that the book was written. I didn't write the book or even see the book, but I just know
Mm,
that that's what she told me, was that she kept putting that book down even though it was about the historical person Viola Davis.
right. Well, I think it depends on how the book was written, and
Right.
oh, because see, here's the thing. Like I ghostwrite at times, right? And I've had clients come to me, give me their biography, and want me to tell their story. And when they tell me after the interviews, I'll say to them, "Nah, you ain't give me enough.
Right.
Right.
You're hiding things, right? You're giving me all of the squeaky clean, politically correct aspects of your life. That's not real life. Like that is your life. I'm not saying it's not, but that's not going to hold the reader. They want to know what they don't know, what they
Right.
couldn't have assumed. That's what they want. They want the stories that they know you don't really want to tell, but you share. And it's the
Right.
same thing with fiction writing, right? Some authors fail because they hide, they scratch all surface level things, right? People talk to me about like the people that they hate in the books, like some of the male characters. I hated him. And I say to them sometimes, that's me too, right? All of
Right.
that came from me. These
Hmm.
things that this character did is things I've even thought about or I might have done, right? So it's me too. So I put myself out on paper boldly. So when I speak to clients, I always tell them you have to if you're gonna write a biography, write a biography. I need more from you. You know, I need things that will surprise people because everybody's life is filled of these things. And that's the only thing that's going to keep a reader's attention.
No, that
What
makes
they
sense.
can't assume.
Right.
Right. They
Yeah, 'cause that
the
makes
book,
sense.
if she keeps putting the book down, it's
Mhm.
too vanilla. It's too straight
Right.
line. There's everything that she's reading, she could have assumed. Nah,
Right.
she don't want that. She want that thing that you didn't really want to talk about, but you talked about.
That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense, Keith, because you were saying that I was thinking about I do history talks. I'm a historian at a cultural center that I work at and everything. That's one of the
Right.
things that I say is that when I do history, I want to tell the true story, warts and all. So I don't want them just to think about the
Yes.
good parts of it.
Right.
You want to see
And
the
you know
bad
what?
parts of
Right.
it
They
as well.
don't want to.
They,
They don't want to know what they already know. You, if
right,
you hit them with, let me tell you the shocking thing that you don't know about
right,
this thing.
right.
Everybody will be on the edge of their seat.
They sit
And
there
you
going
know
like,
what? Hey, you know what? One of the two of the biographies that I've read that really pulled me in, it was Obama's, and I don't think that was really his biography. It was called The Audacity of Hope, and he talks about how Michelle told him, if you ran for president, I ain't gonna vote for you. Cause you ain't a good daddy over here. You ain't doing things on this side. You know, people don't hear that. And then in
Right.
Hillary Clinton's book, when she wrote her book, it was the craziest, I ain't gonna say the craziest story, but it's the most heartfelt story. She said that she had went and met Nelson Mandela.
mm-hmm.
And if Nelson Mandela can forgive the folks who enslaved him, she can forgive Bill Clinton. I was like, oh,
Mm.
drop the mic. I was
Right.
like,
You
she
see
said that's how
now.
deep she was hurt by him. But if he can
Right.
forgive folks who enslaved him, she can forgive this man for getting his Johnson. I was
And
like,
and if and
that's
if
it.
she left that out of the book, readers
That,
would automatically feel she's being disingenuous
Right.
because that's
mhm.
such a thing. People are picking up that book to see, yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll skip through her childhood and everything. Let me hear what you got to say about this thing.
Because this was the controversy. What you got to say about this? And speaking of that, I
And she
saw
said,
that.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that
you
was the
think about
controversy.
that in
Like people
life.
are now wanting to know what Chelsea Clinton is going to say about her life because I think she's trying to become a public figure. As a matter of fact, I saw that she just ran the New York Marathon back this last Sunday and everything. The other question I'm going to get out of y'all's way and everything that I was going to ask both you and Yonder, Keith, and everything. And I think I've asked you this before, Yonder, but my question to both of you is: has there been a time when you have written a character in a book? And then you base it on people because everybody bases it on people and everything like that. And the person recognized themselves in the book and they called you on it. So that was my question. Was there time that you've actually been called where you
Well,
wrote a character and then the person read the book and they're like, hey, that's me. And I don't know why you had to bring me out like that and everything
well,
like that.
I wrote. Let me address this. I wrote a scene that only certain people know about. Let me break it down to you. I wrote a scene about years ago when you get an STD in the hood. We didn't have health insurance, so you didn't go to the hospital. You went to this man called his. Let me put it this way. It was a doctor named. I've changed his name to Doctor Black.
Right.
He was in an apartment building and he gave the medication and he gave prescription and everybody was down there, the hustlers, the hookers, everybody came down there. So I talked to somebody I know who from suburbia. And she said, I like how you did that. You changed his name. She had no reason to know what this was unless she
Mm-hmm.
had been there.
Mhm.
And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, you know about Doctor. Like I said, I changed it. His name was a color. His name was
Mhm.
a color. I called him Dr. Black. And
Mhm.
she knew exactly what I was talking about. His real name was Dr. Brown.
Mhm.
Right.
And she said, oh, I know who
Mhm.
that is. And she said it. And I sat here and looked at her like, what you, mind you, she ain't grew up in the hood. She grew up in suburbia. So I'm
Mhm.
like, how you had to know where this spot was at to know where this spot was at.
Right.
And by knowing certain things, people I'm like, you was somewhere you ain't supposed to be at in suburbia. You know, when you
Mhm.
grew up in the hood, everybody in the hood go to certain places. But
Right.
suburbia don't know what's going on in the hood unless they down there.
Right.
And
Right.
that was the funniest thing about it. So yeah, and as Keith will tell you, all of my characters are real. I just changed the name of they light skin, I made them dark skin. They dark skin, I made them light skin. If it happened uptown DC, I made it happen in Southeast. Even one of my characters' name, I just changed. My brother's name is in there. His name is Rock. His real name is Rock. I call him Shake. I just changed what I called him.
Right.
Mhm.
That
You
makes
know, so they really are the truth. They're as true as we can get without getting sued.
sense.
Mhm.
What about you, Keith?
I've
You ever run into
I've
anybody that
yeah, and what's interesting is that I've written like really intimate books. Like I have a book called Glass Goddesses, Concrete Walls, and it's about various different relationships. But I mix and match the relationships, different events, things like that. Like Yonder, I changed descriptions. If she was light skinned, I made it dark skinned. If she was slim, I
Right,
made it a little chunky. And I never got any woman to recognize that they were in the book. I've had women say, "Well, why didn't you write about me?" And I'm thinking to myself, "You right there in chapter two." But
right.
the one time, and I hope you don't get mad at me for doing this, but one time, the one person who's ever recognized themselves on my pages is my kid's mom. Because my second book was about a young couple trying to hold their marriage together. Now it's fiction in terms of what happened, but the emotional aspect of it, what was
Yes,
going on between the two characters, that was very real. The events were made up, but the emotional tension, the stress, the anxiety, disconnect, all of that, the miscommunication, all of that was real. So when she read the book, she said to me she couldn't finish it. And I was like, why not? Everybody loves that book. She was like, because this time we broken up already, right? She said to me, she didn't realize that I understood certain things. And the beauty of writing sometimes is if a person, it's like writing a letter to somebody to express yourself.
right?
The reason why that's good is because now there's no back and forth. There's no, all right, you said this, now I'm going to defend myself. No, you force a person to actually hear you because they can't argue with a paper. You
Right.
can't argue with what I wrote in the book. You have to really like just listen. So as she started to read, I think she got my perspective
Mhm.
and was like, wow, I didn't see that. Right. But in also writing, because I'm an honest writer, like I said, I also wrote and expressed what she was feeling too. And she realized that I did understand. So that was like kind of sad thing, but that's the one time. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? That's the one time.
Well, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna bounce out, let Yonder take over and
All right.
everything like that. But yes, a few questions across my
All right.
mind.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And writing is healing. I feel it is healing. I mean, really, I forgave my dedication in book one, which I wrote 21 years ago. Um, was forgiving my father. And actually, funny thing about it was
Mm,
forgiving him was he didn't do anything wrong, really. It
right.
was as you growing up, you think that your parents should be someone else.
Hmm.
There was really not a reason to forgive him. He gave me what he had. He gave me what he had. It was he had no more. We
Yeah.
want our
Yeah.
parents to be more. His parents, well, uh he only gave what he had. What he had at when he had it. He had
Right.
no more to give. He was a grown man taking care of five kids and his sister, which made us six of us. My mother had five kids, and he took care of his sister, which is my aunt. And he had a job. He worked every day. He only had that much emotion. He only gave
Hmm.
because his life had been. I got to keep going. When his parents passed away, he had to take care of his sister, which was my aunt. And then he eventually got my mama. She had three girls, and then she had me and my brother. So he had no time. There was no growth period. He had to keep a job and keep it going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as a child, he wanted to be, you want Bill Cosby. You want
Right.
a Cosby life. But
Yeah.
he gave me, like I said, I call myself forgiving him, but I need to apologize to him because he gave me all he got, and he gave us
He,
me and my
he
brother.
doing
So
that.
he gave me his street smarts. So I was cool in the streets, with no punks over here, So
Right.
he gave us the street smarts, and he was that dude on the street. But didn't nobody mess with. My father name was Robert. Didn't nobody mess with Robert's kids. So
Hmm.
he was in that aspect of that, and I realized that as I get older, the sad part about having parents that are no longer here, you never get a chance to give them their flowers, and then you mad at them for everything that they didn't do. You mad at them for just surviving, and surviving made us thrive, and we didn't realize that they just surviving. You think
Yeah.
about 60s, 70s racism, no jobs, no education, just life
Right.
to
I
survive and
didn't.
get out the hood.
I didn't understand my father. Certain things that he did, I didn't understand it. Right, as a kid. I didn't understand it until I got a little bit older. Because you never know
Yes.
your parents' child either, because they never tell you. They
They
never
never
share
told you.
things with you, right? So when I saw things that my father saw, I understood some of the things why he behaved the way he did.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I gave him more grace. Also, when I became a man myself,
Yes.
I understood a lot of things that I didn't understand as a kid and as a child, right? So it changed me, and you learn to give your parents grace because all they are really doing is doing the best they can,
They they
and they're
they
human.
they learning on the fly, man. I mean, really, you think
Yeah, there
they
ain't no
kids?
manuals, right?
Mm-mm.
Ain't and it's things that they've seen, things that have happened that have shaped them, and now the good thing is, a lot of people are, they go to therapy. A lot of people realize that, hey, the way I grew up, the things I seen, the things that happened, that wasn't right. Like that's not normal, right? Their normal was different, right? Now we know that, okay, to talk about certain things and to try to heal from them, there wasn't no healing. It was all survival for them.
All the
There
time.
wasn't no, there wasn't no, hey man, I'm depressed, right? They had to keep going. There wasn't no, it was none of that. It was no mental. Nobody addressed people's mental health, right? And they were just trying to survive. So you got to give them grace and you got to forgive them, right? They did the
Yeah.
best that they could.
Like, look, one of OJ's biggest song was "Living for the Weekend." They just lived for the weekend. They had to do the Monday to Friday us, make sure we got from one spot to another spot to get school, and and that I think about what my mother said, and to this day I still ask this for my kids. My mother said, don't get nobody pregnant, don't get nobody locked up, and get a job. We've done all those. That was her completion plan. And
Mhm,
you think that as you get older, that's not a good plan. No, we didn't get pregnant, we didn't get locked up, and we got a job. I mean,
mhm.
that was completion to her. And I'm cool with that. If you want to go to college, you can. But these are the things that you got to do if you're around
Right,
me. Not if you're
right.
in my house, but this is what I'm putting in y'all. And to this day, that's what my kids have been, and that means so much. I mean, even to this day, you think about it. You try to tell your child, okay, don't have no kids right now. Okay, get your education and get a job.
Right,
That's really
right.
that's a blueprint
Hmm.
for life, because you think how many folks don't get education there? They get caught up in the criminal justice system, and then you can't get a job.
And life is hard. It's always been hard. It's always gonna be hard, right? So, as you get older and you start to see the things that your parents were struggling with, if you have some sense, you have some empathy, and you have some grace because different things, pressure affects people in different ways,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, I could tell you from dealing with my own, like this writing thing, dude, that's my therapy.
Bro, I'm
That's
with
my
you totally,
therapist. That's my
totally.
therapist, right? So, because like me and you had a conversation the other day, and I was telling you, like recently, my life started to resemble what it looked like when I was in my early 20s, and I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
When people ask me how, I made the decision to be a full-time author, it's because I didn't like what my life was. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. My jobs, they weren't, I wasn't working for Fortune 500 companies, but I was gainfully employed. But I
Mm-hmm.
had to be gainfully employed in two, three places sometimes, right? I had to work two jobs, or if I was working one job, it was the type of job that was killing me. By the time I got home, I ain't had nothing left, not even
Yes.
for my family. All I want to do is sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I have this thing that I'm able to do, because thank you for your praise early in the show, because it took me a while, but through my writing and through not what I think, what other people have told me about my work, I'm one of them ones, right?
Yes, you are.
So the frustration is you working on a job and I'm being innovative in these companies and making all this money for these other people, right? And they, are enjoying their lives and I'm not. And I'm depressed because I'm not doing what I know I can do. So whether I laughed the other day because a reader told me, "Oh, I heard you was rich and you could live wherever you want to live." I said, "Whoa, whoa, sister." I said, if I was rich, I wouldn't still be going out on the street and selling books. right?
Yes,
I
I
wouldn't
seen you the
be
other day. Cold
online telling
outside.
y'all, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be online telling y'all, hey, yo, I just dropped the book. You know what I mean? It would be kind of like easy breezy, smooth sailing. So I still got to work. I'm a working author. That's what I do, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And, but that's more satisfying to me. You know what I mean? That I feel like that's my purpose and I'm good with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm good with that. That's what, and, and like I told you recently, I had to stop. I was like, no, I'm not going down that path for nobody, right? Because I know what that feels like,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the thing that in my early life, I made the decision, like, nah, I don't want to keep going this way, right? I made a lot of sacrifices. See, a lot of people that get into this, they get upset when the books don't move.
Right.
They get upset when the sales are not going the way they want them to go. And I get it, I understand, but it's nobody's fault. Like these people that buy your books, every single one of them is a blessing, right?
Yes.
If people aren't buying your books, then you have to look within and fix something, right? Maybe you need
Yes.
help marketing, right? Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
need to give back the car that you financing and take that money and invest in marketing or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you need to do. It's something that you need to do, right? They don't have to, readers don't have to find you. They don't have to buy your material.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either write better, and a lot of good and great writers don't get the recognition they deserve. This is true.
Exactly.
But it's never easy. Like sometimes I want to give like a class to show them, hey yo, this is how hard it is to make it go. This is what you're gonna have to sacrifice to make this work. If you don't want to sacrifice that, then you can't complain.
You writing for
That's like
pleasure.
if
Well,
I
well,
was,
Keith, maybe
you
we
know
can
what I
do one of
mean?
those.
Yeah, because it takes sacrifice. You're gonna have to give up some things. Like, listen, Steph Curry ain't the greatest shooter we ever seen because he just woke up and he's that. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was in the gym putting them shots up.
Yes.
LeBron James ain't last this long in the game because he's just physically gifted. Yeah, but to keep up and to still be able to perform at the level that he does, there's sacrifices. The way he take care of his body, the way he trains.
Yes.
So I look at authors and I'm like, hey yo, ain't nothing easy over here. It look easy to from the outside. Talk to every author and see what they've been through. Talk to them about when the books ain't selling and they got to go hustle other ways, whether
Yeah.
it be drive cab, work in a restaurant. Talk to them about that. Where they
You know,
gotta
so
swallow their pride and be doing goofy jobs to keep the lights on. When they know, hey yo, I'm an author. Like I won awards, and I'm, what I'm saying, I'm in this car Ubering. You understand what I'm saying? This is what happens, right? So yeah, before y'all complain, just this, and this is the gem that I want to give them. It's not an easy thing. It's not. If you love
it's
it, you always gonna be. Yonder, there's days where I went out to sell books. I ain't sell not a one all day in a busy area with my table. Ain't nobody bought nothing. But you know what I did? The next day, went back outside, same place, and said it's gonna work today, and sold out everything in 2 hours.
yeah.
The work. Listen, if you say you want something, you're gonna be tested. A higher power gonna say that's what you want. Let's see if that's what you really want. Ain't nobody
You're
giving nobody nothing.
you're so right about the work ethic. They talk about you're talking about LeBron and Steph. They I've
Yeah.
read something that said Kobe was average with everything. His hands wasn't big enough. His hands was, but he worked so hard to be. They said nothing was special about Kobe's body.
No.
His hands wasn't
Nope.
bigger. He couldn't jump higher. Nothing was
Mm-mm.
special. They say
Work.
his work ethic was like something extreme, but you're so right. I meet folks all day just like you do. Oh, I got a book
Hmm.
out that I'm gonna be better than Tyler Perry. I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that. Okay, where you gonna sell this at? Okay, what you gonna do? Well, shoot, once I come
Right.
out, somebody called me recently and asked me, how could they sell 10,000 books? I said, I don't know, but will you find out? Would you tell me? How could they sell 10,000 books a month? I was like, if you find out, can you tell me? Because I would like to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they don't understand. First of all,
Mm-mm.
to be an author, you have to be an author all day, every day. When people talking about chicken, fried chicken, and Steph Curry, you gotta be talking about, hey, have you ready to kiss me before you say good night? And they be like, I
This is
don't.
what.
And They don't understand it.
There you go.
This is
There you
yeah.
go. There you go.
We have to.
Yonder,
I got books in my trunk. People gotta say when they talk about their thing, you gotta say, "Well, this what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do." Oh! You wrote a book? Oh, okay, all right. And then they want to tell you about somebody else's little piece of book. And I ain't calling nobody's book out about anything, but I'm telling you, I got some diamonds up in this thing. And you ain't saying about, but you tell me about your cousin that wrote a book. I don't care.
right,
You ain't bought my
right.
book, or somebody will send you somebody else's stuff. Have you
Hey,
read
Yonder,
Dimes?
Yonder. Let me tell you, I've had authors say to me, "Think, because I'm in New York, that is easier, right? Because they look at it so many people. Let me tell y'all something. This is one of those places that everybody in their mind is a CEO.
Yes.
Everybody you run into got a business, right?
Hmm.
I've had people stand in front of my table and lecture me and try to sign me up and tell me, yo, you should do this, you should do that. I got this going on, handing me business cards and flyers and telling me how well they doing financially. And trust me, brother, get down with this. And I always say to them, that's cool, but you still haven't bought one of my books, which is only $20. You gonna do that? Right? So just because there's so many people here, it's not easy. And the thing about it is look, sometimes my mom's will ask me, because she's a little bit older, she don't go out as much and go do stuff. She'll ask me to run errands for her, right? She's still old school. So she buy money orders for stuff. I'm like, Mommy, you can pay
Right,
this stuff
right, right.
online. She like, no, I don't want nobody to hack me. She don't trust it. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go and pay bills for her, right? I go to the check cashing place. Yonder, the girls in the check cashing place, they know I write books. The McDonald's where I will go and buy my Big Mac, they know I write books. The nail salon where I'll take my lady to go get her nails done, the Asian lady doing her toes, know I write books. The barbershop know I write books. When I go to the gas station, yo, bro, when the next book coming out? This is what I am 24/7. If you look at my page, yes, I may post a meme here and there because it's funny, right? I might post something interesting. I might drop a quote. But for the most part, there is no way you can look at any one of my social media platforms and not know that I write books.
And you
So when
have to be that
authors,
way.
you have to be that way. If I'm pumping gas, the person next to me, hey yo, big bro, I'm an author. I don't even ask if they read. Don't even ask that because they're like, nah, I don't read. No, 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 no. I'm not asking you that. I'm telling you I'm an author. I'm telling you. I'm not asking if you read. I don't care if you read, right? I'm an author. I'm out here promoting my books. You want to show love and get a copy? Yo, if they say I don't really read, it's cool. Buy it for somebody else. Give it to your girl. Give it to your cousin. Matter of fact, take it to work and leave it on the desk. I don't care. Just show love and get a copy. Cause I don't care. Y'all not. You know what taught me that? One day I'm in Brooklyn because I was in the Bronx for a minute, right, selling my books. I switched up. I'm in Brooklyn now, right? So I'm in Brooklyn. A guy passed by and I tried to sell him one of my books. He said, "Man, I read that book already." Now, I'm not Stephen King. I'm not James Patterson. I'm not J.K. Rowling. I'm in this big ass city. So I'm saying, yo, bro, you lying. Ain't no way you read this book. Because at that point, I'm a small author. I kind of know who and where I
Who
sold
got
books at.
who? Right, right,
Right. So
right,
I ain't
right, right.
believing, right. So I ain't believing this brother that he just randomly read my book. Right. So he said, "What you mean?" And he started telling me my book. I said, "Oh, word." He said, "Yeah." He said he was up in the Bronx. He was, rolling Santa smoke and he was using my book to, you know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
he said he started reading it, got into it. He's like, yeah, bro. And I dapped him up. A Jewish girl passed me at one of the places where I'm selling my books, right? And she said to me, I read that book. I said, "Yo, get out of here, right? That's not my audience, right?" I said, "Get out of here. You read this book." She told me that she wrote her college dissertation paper on my first book.
Oh, get out of here, man. That's numbered ups.
So what I'm saying is I never met this person, right? But me planting those seeds and letting those books fly, whether they read it or not, they out in the world. You know what I mean? I have a recently, I have a friend that I went to elementary school with, right? She's not on Facebook, she ain't on social media, right? And I always ask my other friends, yo, what happened to her? We never see. Nobody knows, right? She hit me up about 4 months ago, and I'm talking about I'm an old guy now, right? I'm late 40s, right? I'm about to turn 50. So this is years. If I'm talking about I
Right,
haven't seen
right,
this
right,
girl since
right,
we was
right.
12, right? Somebody hit me up on Instagram and she's telling me that it's her, and she's saying that how she found me on Instagram is one of her friends was like, "You got to read this guy. You have to read this book." And when she looked at it, she said, "I went to school with him." So I say that to say this: as an author, when you're out and you're promoting your work,
Mm-hmm.
you just have to do the work. You just
That's
have to
it.
do the work. You just have to have the faith that it's working and do the work. Don't worry about likes. Don't worry about followers. Don't worry about none of that. Do the real work in the world. Put the books out there for real because it's gonna work. You don't have no choice but to, right? Because I know that comparison is what kills a lot of authors and their confidence. They may look and see another author have 400 reviews. They got five. It don't matter, right? Don't worry about nobody else. Do what you're doing. That's it. Somebody else might get 100 comments, 100 likes. Don't worry about that, right? Because guess what? When before I started getting invited to events and things like that, I didn't think nobody knew about me,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I'm still doing the work. I don't care. I'm doing it because this is what I want to do. Then all of a sudden, I get a message, "Hey Keith, we want you at our book readers retreat in Atlanta." And I'm like, "All right." And they're like, "Well, don't worry about it. All you gotta do is get here. We got your room, transportation, everything covered. Just show up." I didn't know these book clubs knew about me. So this
Yes.
is why I say just do the work. The
You're you're
was just do the work.
you're
Somebody
so
gonna
right.
see you. Just do the work.
And they'll tell you about it. You're so right. I have a post office story to tell you. To this day,
Hmm.
Keisha and what's the young lady? I can't tell you the young lady's name. I met some young ladies for post office years ago when I worked downtown DC
Hmm.
and wrote the book. I was smelling them off. You know how we do. We got to go to the mailbox, smell them off. So I
Yeah.
got to know the postal ladies. And they was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
They put me in line first. And so they all started reading the book. Okay.
Hmm.
Far forward. So every post office I would go to, I would see somebody. I was like, I want to send this post. They said, you're right. And I tell them
Hmm.
what, and 20 years later, I was at a post office downtown DC one
Hmm.
day and I was signing the book. I said, I want to send this, media mail. And the girl came back. She said, "Yonder." I was like, "Yeah." She said, "You don't remember me, right?" I was like, "No, but evidently you know me." And she told me how she knew me. One of her girlfriends worked in the post office at this other location, and they gave it to her, and all the postal girls were reading
Hmm.
it. And she went in the back and got the postal girls. There must have been 10 of them who came up to the front, was like, "There you go, y'all. I told you we knew them." And I was like, "Oh my God." So they've been reading my books for 20 years in the post
Here you
office
go.
doing up, and I had, they were good people. So when I go in there,
Right.
if I had a book, I would just sign. I mail off some, and I say, "Hey, who ain't ready? Here you go. Here you go." I had no problem. You know
Right.
this. I had no problem giving away a few.
Yeah.
Like I said, 20 years later, I was at the post office. I ain't met bothering them. I was just smelling. I don't know. I even had. I don't even know who I was smelling a book to. But she came and got the rest of them. Man, I was done. I was done. I was like, you know what? I put this work in 20 years ago for them to still be following me and asking me when the next book out. Oh, you only got two out? No, I got five out. You got five out? Oh my God, I got to go to the website. And I was like, I got five out. They was like, you got five out? We only got one and two. Oh my God. They were all, and
Mhm.
it was the craziest thing. I was like, and we don't consider ourselves celebrities. It's just
Right.
work when we're doing it. But they was like, hey, can you take a picture? It was crazy
Yeah.
because I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, and then folks know you from the story, or like I said, I have a character in my book named Mr. Roll. Either you hate him or you like him, and it's simple that. Then I have another character
Hmm.
named Maggie. Maggie, a bad girl. So either the woman, hey,
Hmm.
I tell the woman, either you know a Maggie or you Maggie, and they be like, oh, what you mean? I said, because if you don't know Maggie,
Right. Now
you
you
hurt.
Maggie.
You
You
Maggie
heard.
then. And
Yeah.
they was like,
You
yeah,
Maggie
so
there.
so I got you with that. And people don't realize this work. We don't we don't concentrate on anything else but these books. I mean, really. I
That's it.
go anywhere I go, I got books in my trunk right now. We
Hmm.
don't go anywhere without these books. And sometimes we go to the airport,
Nope.
I just leave one in the airport. Wherever I go,
That's
I
it.
got some books in my hand.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that
When
they
I'm
don't realize. Like you
traveling,
said, this thing
it's
hard.
it's
This
a
thing is hard.
constant. Yeah, and you gotta be for it to work. You gotta be obsessed with it. You really have
Yes.
to be obsessed with it, right? You're gonna miss out on times. Look. I had a conversation with an author friend, and she was complaining that her books wasn't selling. So I took a look at her social media. I said, "Yeah, well, I'm looking at your social media, which is free marketing, free. It
Yes.
always was free, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything that says you write books.
That's your author,
If
right?
you're gonna do celebrity, yeah, I don't see anything like that. Look, Yonder, when I travel, I'll be wearing shirts that say Black author, author, because
Bro,
and now you
I have
start a
one of them days, best
conversation.
selling author. I wear it. Yeah, come on, bro. Come on.
That's right. That's right. And people gonna stop and say, "Hey, what, you write?" Yes, I sold books in the airport, signed copies of books in the airports, on buses. Hey, don't let me have to take a bus somewhere because I was back in the days. I try not to take buses no more because that was a horrible experience. I try to fly when I can, but when I started, I ain't had a bread, bro. I had a bread. I remember I went to Atlanta. That's how bad I wanted to be at this event. I took the bus. 24 hours that takes. Not because the drive is that long, but just because they stop at
Yeah, I
stations,
know. Yeah,
they
stop.
change
They stop in every
buses.
little town.
Bro, it was a nightmare, bro, but I did it. So when people tell me you lucky or it's easy, I'll be like, nah, ain't nothing easy about it, right? Ain't nothing easy about it. When I'm outside with this duffel bag and y'all know for years I ain't had no license, right? Because I
Mm-hmm.
was reckless at one point. I'm running up and down with women. I'm getting speeding tickets. They took away my license, right? I'm everywhere where I'm not supposed to be. So I had my license for a little while. So that means that all through New York City, I got a duffel bag full of books, a
Mm-hmm.
table, on crowded subways, on crowded buses, walking all over the place till my feet hurt, right? My back hurt, right? I don't carry a chair. I don't take a chair with me. I've had people say, "Yo, bro, why you don't take a chair?" Because to me, just from a perspective standpoint, it look a little lazy, like I'm not on my game, like I'm
Yep.
relaxed.
Come
Bro, when I'm
on.
outside on the street, I'm standing up. I don't have a chair. I don't take it. For what? Because everybody that's passing, I'm talking to you. So I'm not sitting down and talking to you from a seat.
Nope.
I'm standing and talking to you, right? So when people tell me it's easy, I'll be telling them, hey, the only thing stop me, well, like especially when I was raising my kids, right? Because they grown now, thank goodness. They kind of take care of themselves now, right? But when I was a single dad raising my kids, bro, the only thing stopped me from going outside was rain because you can't get books wet. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Yo, I was outside. I got the proof. I've been outside, and when people ask me, so what you doing when it get cold? I put on more clothes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
outside in big jackets, gloves. I've had readers, and again, along the way, you also pick up supporters.
Yes.
People who not only just read your books, they care about your well-being. Your success is their success because they believe in you. So when you win, they win. So they really get behind you and support you. Yonder, I ain't gonna say their names because I don't want to embarrass them, but I got an author friend and I have a reader friend that when my kids were in elementary school, little kids, my doorbell ring, I go downstairs, there's a giant box. I'm like, what's this? I ain't ordered nothing. I go upstairs. Bro, it's school supplies. Every possible thing they could need for notebooks, pens,
Mm.
pencils, crayons, right? And then the next day, you know what I mean? Another box. That's my author friend from all the way out in Cali. I ain't gonna say her name because I don't know if she would want me to, but school supplies because they know I'm a single dad and I'm trying to make it happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I mean. Like along the way, it's not just the success. Yeah, I have big goals, things that I want to do, but it's not just that. It's the journey. It's the
It
people that
is.
I've met. It's the people like you who, yo, we brothers.
Yeah.
I could
And
call
you
you
can't
up
get
and
better than the journey. This is,
yeah,
I say
it's
this
the
all the
journey.
time. The journey has been, you guys have become family. I mean, really, just the journey. And I can call somebody and say, man, this is
Yes.
one on the day, man.
Yeah.
And you understand. And I always say this to myself. I know you say you don't carry a chair. Even though I carry a chair when I do these events, I say if your feet not hurt, you ain't selling no books.
You ain't selling no books. The
Ain't
only time
nobody
I
gonna
sit
sit
down
down
is
and
in
serve you.
Daytona.
You ain't they ain't
Right.
serving you. If your feet ain't hurt, you know I got 3-piece suit on at all time. It's 90 degrees.
Yes.
If your feet ain't hurt, if your feet ain't hurting, if my feet ain't hurt when I go to the room, I ain't sold no damn books.
That's it. If you don't. And I'm trying to tell people like, yo, I understand that sometimes life get in the way. That happened to me. Life gets in the way, slow you down. You don't write as much as you want. But I always tell people there's no excuse. Listen, if you was to go home every day and write a page, and you can't tell me, I don't care if you work 3 jobs, you can't tell me you can't write a page a day. At the end of the year, you have 365 pages. That is a big book,
Yeah.
right? Bro,
Well,
my
oh, that
second book,
our books ain't even that big. Look,
right,
our books ain't that
right,
big. Like you
right,
said,
right. Brother, my second
you
book,
got a whole series.
my second book I wrote on the New York City subway line, going to work and coming back home. Crowded. The stop that I got on purpose was the first stop of the train, so I always get a seat. That's all I needed was a seat. As long as I had a seat, I had a little notebook that fit in the palm of my hand, and I'm just sitting there writing. That's
Right
it.
there.
So there ain't no excuse. There ain't no excuses.
Mm-mm.
You
You
know,
got the same 24
you
hours.
same 20. That's it. We all got the same 24 hours. Is what you do with it. If you can't stay up an hour later, if you can't not watch that show, if you can't not watch that football game, if you can't not watch that reality show, then you got to really check and see if you're really about this. And if you ain't really about it, then stop complaining that it ain't working.
Th- Bruh, you
You
preaching,
only
man.
gonna get out what you put in.
You preaching, bro. I wrote my first book on a commuter bus coming from Southern Maryland to DC. They would sleep early morning, and they stopped the lights from coming on the bus. So I bought a little light from the dollar store. I'm writing. I'm
A
writing.
little
I
light.
wrote,
There you
and then
go.
I wrote at lunchtime. I wrote at lunchtime every day. It was like I write in chaos. I go in a big cafeteria at work. They like, "What you doing? What you eating?" I ain't eating nothing lunch. This is my lunch right here. I wrote every day, old fashioned. I wrote in the
That's it.
bathtub. I wrote everywhere I
That's
went.
it.
I wrote. Like you said, I wrote. That first book, I wrote. It before, and people don't realize we were out before all these new phones with notepads and email. Bro, I had a
Yes.
regular old flip phone, and there was no Amazon. People aren't realizing
No.
Amazon is really new to the book world.
Yes.
There was no
Yes.
Amazon. Our books on Amazon. My first book signing, I had. You remember how back in the day you had to buy your books in bulk
Yep.
for they cheaper? I bought
Yeah.
1,500. I bought 1,500 books on my credit card, and I had
Mm.
a Chevy Blazer. The
Mm.
back of the Blazer was down.
Packed.
It was
Yeah.
down. It was down because that's how many books I had up in there, and I
Yeah.
sold them. I sold those books.
We sold those books.
I
That's
didn't have
hey.
one book out. I had many got out. I had one little book out. What I do is taboo, and guess what? Oh, y'all gonna buy this book?
You gonna buy? Hey, bro. When I was working on my first book, right, my computer in my crib died. It went down. But I
Mm-hmm.
got a computer at work. So luckily I had everything on a hard disk. Remember them hard
Yep.
square
A
plastic
hard disk.
discs?
Yep.
I'll take it to work, finish my work for the night, my billing and coding, stuff like that I'm done. Slip that in and take what I wrote and type it up.
Yep.
And that's how I did my first book. When I first came out, I remember, like, because the literary world always kind of got like a hierarchy where people who got deals or, you know what I mean, they kind of bougie with you. They like, you're not really real,
Come
right?
on. Come on.
Because
Come on.
I didn't
Hit
go
one.
in
Hit
and
one.
go to a publisher, right? I did it. And at the time, listen, I'm a single dad. I'm taking care of my family. I'm the only person working in my household, right? It's me, she don't work. So I ain't had money to buy them in bulk. So what I did is I did my research and I found a company called Book Surge
Okay.
that
No
would
about
do print on demand,
them.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I got my tax return, I printed up as many as I could. So I had about
Mm-hmm.
2 boxes of books. Back then, they used to tell me, "Oh, you're not a real publisher or whatever because you're doing print on demand."
You're
I
putting
don't
print on
care.
demand. Yep. They
I'm
still say
doing
it to
it,
this day. Shut up.
and
They
now
still say nonsense.
everybody's overdoing it that way, right? But I'm doing it because ain't nothing gonna stop me from doing this, right? So when I did that, my brother came and the books moved, right? Life got in the way. But you see, when I dropped my second book, that's when I made my mind up because I was working for a company and I had a meeting at the Morgan Stanley building in the morning, right? So I'm on the subway. Yeah, I think I took the train that day. I'm on the subway. I get out. I see all these people going into the MTV building, happy to be going to work. going into Morgan Stanley with their coffee, happy to be going to work. And I was like, yo, I don't feel like that. And the week before, I was parked in my car outside another facility to go to another business meeting for the company I was working for. And I saw a man in a suit walking his daughter to school. I remember I'm a single dad too, or I'm a single dad at that time. I don't know his story, but I know I'm a single dad. And I know that that morning, I didn't get a chance to tell my daughter or my son, have a good day, see you later. I ain't, my moms or my aunt would look out for me and I drop them off over there while they was half asleep and then I go to work. And when I saw him walking with his daughter, I said, you know what? I want to do that. I want to be able to do that. If I stay working for this company, I can't do that. Bro, that morning when I got out on my way to that meeting, I took out the company BlackBerry, typed up my 2 weeks resignation, thanked them for the opportunity, thanked them for everything, and blah, 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 I'm real professional, CC'd all the ownership, all the other managers, all the other supervisors, and hit send. I'm in a meeting for this company and my phone is going crazy. And I'm like, I'm in the meeting right now. When I get out, I talk to y'all. And at the time, that was 2010, and my boss sat me down in the office and he said, excuse me, he said, you sure you want to do this? He said, because, I know you're a single dad, the economy is bad, things is tight. You sure you want to do this? And I said to him, hey, listen, my life is different from your life, right? I said, you kind of grew up in the suburbs with parents you had, right? You're used to kind of privilege. So the prospect of doing without terrifies you. I said, how I grew up 7 people in a 1 bedroom.
Come on.
I know what it is to not have. I ain't scared of it, right? As long as I can maintain a roof over my kid's head, food, these things, and I know I could do that. I believe in myself like that, right? I'm gonna make this work. And so I left and I ain't never looked back, bro. You know what I mean? And guess
Man.
what that did? I ain't have no savings, right? All I had was my income tax return and my last paycheck. And you know what I did with it? Bought books.
Go books.
Because I said to my, see, because here's what would have happened if I didn't. I was gonna hold on to that money and squeeze it till it was gone anyway. Because bills don't stop coming. So when I take all my money and I jump out the window that way, and all I got is books, guess what? Even if I'm nervous,
I
if
got it
I have
covered.
anxiety, because people don't understand, like Yonder, as much as you see me outside and I'm smooth with it, and there's a level of anxiety that I deal with every
All day,
time I
every
step
day, bro.
outside.
All day.
Right. You got to coach yourself out to go and do
You
it.
got look.
I,
That's why I wear the suit for. You got to coach yourself. Okay,
you
look,
got to
they gonna
coach
see the suit.
yourself.
You got
Yeah,
to
you got to
every
coach
time.
yourself to go do every time. People think that because of our personalities, they think it's just easy. We are authors. We
It's
spend a
the
lot of
hardest
time by
thing.
ourselves. It's the hardest thing
And to
because
get the
we
first
spend
look,
so much
Kareem,
time alone.
to get the first
Mhm.
sale, you be like, Lord, it take your eye get the first sale. You be sweating,
You,
hyperventilating. You
you,
done lost 10
you
pounds.
know, you know it. You
You
know
done
it, bro.
lost
I'll be
10
out
pounds
there.
before you sell the first book.
Bro, I'll be out there for an hour and a half sometimes before I get the first one. And then once
Yes.
I get the first one, all right, here we go. I got
Here we
energy to get
go.
to the second one. Right. People don't, that's why I rock with you, bro. You get it.
It's the hardest
You get
headache.
it.
Look,
You
it's
get
a
it.
headache
You
because
get
you
it.
and then you talk yourself out before you get there. Okay, did I write the right cologne on? Okay, let me make sure.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I say something that gonna get them. Cause
Right.
just I ain't say nothing that got them. And
Right.
okay. Okay, if it's somebody's mother, I gotta come this way. If somebody's father, I gotta come this way. If he's from the hood, I gotta give him some pounds. I gotta talk about the
Yeah.
game first. We're gonna talk about what the Steelers did or what
Right.
we got. I got to talk
Right.
about what Kobe did last night. So I
Right.
gotta find out how can I get him to
Hmm.
actually talk to me about my book. Cause he ain't gonna talk
Right.
about my book first. He gonna say, "Where
Nah.
you from? Where you from,
Nah.
dog? How long it take to write
Right.
that book?"
Right. And it's the unknown, right?
Mhm.
When you go to a job,
Mhm.
whether you perform well or you don't, as long as you do the basic that they hired you to do, you know that on Friday you getting that check,
Yes.
right? Until they fire you. Even if you ain't doing your job this week, they might not know you ain't doing your job this week,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
you
Right.
know that check is coming until they fire you, right?
Mhm.
With this thing, what I try to tell people is we got to hunt. When you do this full time when you're an entrepreneur, you got to hunt because you
Hunt.
have to make it happen. Ain't nobody making it happen for you. And a lot of people don't understand that they don't want to move out of a comfort zone while it's not working. You can't halfway want to do this. You know what I mean? You
You gotta
can't
have
do it as a
kids in
hobby.
hunting.
If you're gonna do it as a hobby, it's gonna stay a hobby. You're gonna make hobby money. You're gonna make play money if it's a hobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you really serious, then you set a goal. Yo, this is what I need to make every week to
Mm-hmm.
maintain your life. That's where you start. This is what I get on my job, so that's what I need to be doing over here.
Mm-hmm.
And you commit to it. If you ain't committed, it's gonna be a hobby. And I don't want to hear you complaining because you playing with it like it's a hobby. Because you still go to work, you still focus on your job, you still got that comfort zone. So you're not really putting 100% into the books because you got a safety net, you got a cushion. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking that, right? But don't look at me because I don't have a choice. I have to be a monster with this.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I put food in my kids' belly. That's how I kept them a roof over their head. That's how I put clothes on their back. That's how when they go, they gotta go on a trip. Yo, there was times my kids tell me at the last minute they gotta go on a trip. All right, how much? I need $40. All right, it's 10 o'clock at night, bro.
Right.
I gotta go outside. I gotta go outside. I go outside with my little table set up in a spot, and because I know there's little traffic, foot traffic, and people be like, "Bro, it's 10 o'clock. You still out here?" And I'm like, "Yo, listen, I got stuff to take care of. All right, hold on, bro. When I get out the store, I'm gonna cop one."
Right.
Yep.
Because you got to
That's
be
what
in
it
beast mode at
takes
all times.
Hey,
At
Kareem
all the
all
and
time.
times.
Yonder, you still got a few more minutes. I'll let you go over and everything like that, and y'all can still go a few more minutes over. But I was gonna say this conversation is reminding me of a conversation I was having with a good friend of mine. He actually does a show on his own YouTube network, but it's a show about funk music and like the Georgian Parliament and everything like that. But he gets frustrated, and I don't think I'm speaking out of school because, as he puts it, there are a lot of musicians here in North Carolina that are hobbyists, and he's very serious about his music and he wants to make it a career and all along those lines. So
Yes.
I was wondering how, because it sounds like this is a conversation that goes on in the author world, just like it goes on in the music world, where you
Yeah.
got some
Oh
people that are
yes, yes.
strictly into the hobby. Because I know that my friend Zach, this is where he gets frustrated because he wants to find musicians that are devoted to the cause, that want to be serious about the music game. And some of
Mm-hmm.
these people,
Right.
they are serious about the gigs and they're only hobbyists and only worried about, like you said, Keith, getting that money that will supplement their stuff, but it's not trying to make a career out of it.
Right. And if you're a hobbyist, that's okay. That's okay too.
That's okay, right?
But as a hobbyist, you can't compare apples to oranges about somebody who needs to get this to pay their rent or to pay their
Right.
mortgage. They're in a different situation from you, right? And you
Totally,
And
didn't
totally,
put
right,
that's
this.
where he gets frustrated because a band is made up of multiple members. So of course he's trying to make it so that he can make some money to make a career out of it, and he's got some health issues as well. But he's trying to make a career out of it, so he wants people that are totally devoted to it and everything. Whereas there are other folks that they only want to do it when they want to do it, and they're not as
Yeah,
serious about it as
there
he
you
is, and
go.
all along those lines. And that becomes a problem sometimes with hobbyists, is that they are
Absolutely.
really wanting to do it when they want to do it, and that's
When they
whether
want
they're
to do it.
hobbyists in the author world, a hobbyist in the filmmaking world, because I saw you were a filmmaker as well,
Yes.
or a hobbyist in music. Because as you know from being a filmmaker, you got to have a crew that's going to be about the film and trying to make the whole film. You can't have somebody that wants to be an
Serious.
actor for a hot minute and then be like, I want to go to my company picnic and things like that. And you go like, I got a deadline. We trying to have this film done by November 25th before Thanksgiving.
Mm, there you go. There you go. There you go. You get it? Exactly.
and you got to, like
Exactly.
Keith
'Cause
said,
the
you got to
filmmaking
be in beast
headache
mode.
is a whole nother headache. That's a whole nother headache now with finding serious people who are committed to it. Right? Because it's fun. When you say you're making a movie, all your friends want parts.
Oh
Or
yeah.
when you say, all right, everybody got to show up at this time. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I can't make it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Keith, I have to have you back
That's the
again,
whole
man,
thing.
because we can talk for hours. I want you, first of all,
Flowers. Yes.
I'll see you in January for the Fresh Book Festival. Thank you to Donna. And also I
Yes.
know we have a third
Thank
book
you, Miss
coming out
Banks.
with uh with Pam.
Pamela.
Uh
Hmm.
I know you're doing the front cover, so I know we have a third book coming out. But I have to have you back, Keith. If I can get you to do one thing for me, Keith, leave the folks with something
Yes,
to
sir.
go on because folks don't understand. And I'm not even telling you what your word gonna be, but you understand the grind, the cry, the tears, the anxiety of not just writing a good book, but you're your own marketing team. Tell folks if they're not for this, don't get into it. You tell me your version of it.
Yeah, listen. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die.
I
Comfort
love that.
zones are where dreams go to die, right? In order to do something that you haven't done before or to pursue your dreams, 99.9% of the time, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. If you don't want to get uncomfortable, if you don't want to sacrifice, then you're actually saying that you don't believe in it, right? And one thing the lady told me on the street, real quick, because I know we kind of went over time. She
Hmm.
saw me. She saw me in the same spot all the time. She saw I was kind of down. Because, Yonder, remember when you talk about that first sale?
Yes.
I was like 3 hours in. I was 3 hours in and I ain't sold a book yet. And I had talked to a lot of people and ain't nobody bought nothing, right?
Right, right,
So she
right.
came up to me. She said, "You don't look like your usual self. You don't have that bounce and that energy you usually have. So you all right?" I said, "Man, it's kind of tough today. It was tough yesterday too. And I'm feeling like, damn, maybe I need to go get a regular job again." And she said to me, "Do you believe in what you're doing?" And I paused and I said, "Yeah." She said, "Nah, you ain't say that with conviction." She said, "Listen, let me explain something to you, baby." She said, "Fear and faith cannot exist in the same space. You got to choose.
Cannot.
You got to choose. Fear and faith can't exist in the same space." So that's how I live my life. I don't care if a week go by and I ain't sell a book. I know that next week I'm gonna sell them all and have a waiting list for people that want because I done sold out already, right? So I just move with faith because they really can't exist, right? Because if you're fearful, then that means you don't believe in what you're doing, right? I believe, like I said, I wanted it once. Not saying it from an arrogant space, but I really believe that based on what I'm doing and what I put in, right? I'm one of them ones. So I believe in myself. So ain't nothing but faith over here. So I'm gonna believe that, and even if it's to the point of delusion that this gonna work. If you ain't like that, you're gonna have a rough go at it. Because it take irrational belief in yourself sometimes to make things happen. You know what I mean? That's where the magic is. Get out your comfort zone. Get out your comfort zone. Where you comfortable, the sure thing, the steady thing, that's how your life is gonna be. It's gonna be just exactly what it is. If you want to change something, you gotta do something different. That's what I can give them.
Brother, I'm gonna find out my schedule because I need you back, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, cause we need 2 hours. I want to
Anytime.
shout out
Yeah, we do.
Donna, and
Anytime.
I want to shout out
Yeah.
Pam Coleman for we didn't get a chance to talk about the book, but Donna Fresh Book Festival,
It's all right.
January, go up on freshbookfestival.com. We're gonna plug as much
Hmm.
as we can right now, but Keith,
Yeah, come see us in
Kareem,
Florida, man. I'm tired of telling them to come down to Daytona. To y'all to tell them we have a time, bro. We
bro,
have a
man,
time.
oh
Come
man,
down to
y'all have to
Florida.
come to the Fresh Book Festival. I mean, really. First of all, I tell Donna this all the time. It's the only festival I've been to that she fed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. I mean,
Every
jazz
day.
bands. First of all, in January, y'all know on the East Coast what it's gonna be, what the weather gonna be. I can't guarantee you 80 degrees, but I guarantee about 79 and a half
Yeah. Yeah.
on the water. I mean,
Yeah.
so you in Daytona,
Yeah.
it's a good time. Authors and the workshops, everything that go on the movie
Top
festival on Thursday
notch.
night. It's
Top
just
notch. Top notch.
it's on a different, it's on a, you know how you say 5-star level. I want to call it
Yeah.
five. It's like a diamond level, like a 10
Yeah.
star or something.
Yeah.
Donna
Yeah.
puts Donna Gray Bites puts on this great event called the Fresh Book Festival, and I want to shout out Pamela Coleman for
Hmm.
helping us with the book on Black Man's Depression.
Mental
So
mental health. Yep.
and we can't. The show is over, y'all. We got to end this thing because me and Brother Keith could talk for hours and days.
We could
We
do it
could
for
do
hours.
a whole month together on this. So thank y'all guys
Yeah.
for coming. Hey Keith, and I didn't do this. I meant to tell you, do your social media, please.
All right. I got you.
Do your
Oh,
social.
yeah. On everything. Snapchat, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter. I am at Reem After Dark, one word, REEM After Dark, one word. Facebook, you can find me, Keith Kareem Williams. Amazon, Keith Kareem Williams, all my books is there. Um, Check out my latest one. Trust me, y'all need to read this. If you like spicy, erotic thrillers, wildflowers, and bullets, get that. Trust me. My brother,
Ma- Thank you so much, sir. Thank
thank
you.
you
The
for
love,
having
man.
me, man.
You can feel the love through the camera, man. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, bro.
my
Thank you
pleasure,
so much for
brother.
coming on. I'm gonna look at my calendar. I got you back before the end of the year, man, because I
Anytime,
want to
bro.
have.
Hey, hey, we
Yes,
gotta put together that seminar, man. We
bro,
gonna talk about that.
brother. I am
I'm
for
with
it.
it.
I am for, because like I said, people need to hear this for hours, not just what we're saying, and just to figure out how they fit in. Either you fit in here or you don't. I mean, it ain't
Right.
no if I want to be author or not. Either you fit, or you can just want a book out for yourself or for your family.
That's it.
But if you want the grind and the time and everything that goes with it, it's gonna take some time, y'all.
It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some work.
Brother Keith, thank you so much, man. Love you,
Yonder, my
man.
brother.
Talk to you
Love you,
soon,
bro. All
man.
right,
Thanks.
talk to you soon.
Okay, cool.
Peace.
Peace.